Hello everybody, welcome back to Modern Meta Matchups, and on today's episode we have Grixis Shadow and we've got Murktide. And hopefully you guys like Ledger Shredder because we got 8 of them today.
4 for him and 4 for me.
That's right, both of these decks are playing 4 copies of Ledger Shredder. I also have the classic Death Shadow cards, such as Death Shadow, as well as things like Drown in the Lock and Expressive Iteration.
Thoughtseize.
Yep, a lot of the same cards. I don't know, we're probably playing almost the same deck other than a few cards.
Yeah, so if you take your deck and you take away the Drown in the Locks and the Thoughtseizes and things like that, and you replace those Death Shadows with Murktides, you kind of get closer to my deck.
And a few more counter spells.
A few more counter spells. I get to play Archmage's Charm. I got a Brazen Borrower in there. A few cool things like that. So, but yeah, we're playing similar decks, and 2 titans of the format kind of bashing against each other and see who goes a little faster.
Yeah, I really like these decks, and if you like these videos, you can let us know very easily by hitting that thumbs up button, as well as subscribing to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, please share these videos with some of your friends. It does mean a lot to us.
And leave us a comment letting us know what kind of things you want to see on the channel, what decks you want to see us play, all that kind of stuff. We really appreciate it.
Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into game 1. All right, let's see who's going first. I've got a 9.
You did say you were going to get a 9, and I predicted a 7, so let's see. Nope, a 5, even worse.
I'll go first.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's see if this is a keepable 7.
I think I can keep my 7.
I'm going to keep my 7 as well.
All right, so going into game 1, I have a very good opening hand. I've got a Fiery Islet and a Blood Crypt as my lands. I also have 2 Dragon's Rage Channelers, a Ragavan, Unholy Heat, and a Kroxa. This is great because I can lead off on something like a Ragavan, and then as long as JC doesn't remove it, I have a removal spell to remove a creature of his, and I have a pretty good chance of being able to connect with a Ragavan as early as turn 2. I really like this hand, and I'm excited to see where it takes me.
All right, this is an interesting opening hand, but it's just close enough to perfect that I'm willing to keep a 1-lander. The only land is Spire Bluff Canal, but I do have 2 Darcys, and I do have a Mishra's Bauble, so I get a couple extra looks. I've got to consider even more looking at cards, and then I have Expressive Iteration and Snapcaster Mage for later in the game. I'm off to a pretty good start. Could really use some removal, but I'm pretty happy with this. Let's just hope I draw lands.
All right, I'll go ahead and lead things off with an untapped Blood Crypt.
Okay.
And then I'll just play everybody's favorite friend, a Ragavan.
That's a Ragavan.
He's very nimble.
Sure is.
And pilfering.
Is that?
I'm done.
All right. I'm going to draw. Oh, okay. Well, start with a Spire Bluff Canal.
No removal for the 1 time?
I wish.
Nice.
But I get to follow up with a Bauble.
Sure.
So I'm going to Surveil.
Yep.
I'm actually kind of... Nah, I'm just going to bin that.
Sure.
I'd like to take a look at your top card.
All right. I'm going to be drawing this.
Well, I don't love that. Okay. Why don't we go ahead to your turn, and I'll draw a card on your upkeep.
Sure thing. I like that one.
Yeah, that was not what I was hoping to see.
I'll play a Fiery Islet.
You got it.
And before playing the card you know about, I'm going to play one you don't know about.
Oh.
A Darcy of my own.
Even worse.
And then I'll go ahead and pay a life to play this Unholy Heat on your Darcy. I get a Surveil. I'll put a mountain in the graveyard.
I now have a creature in my yard.
And then I'll attack you for 2.
Well, I'm sure taking 2. I'm going to 18. And you get a treasure and this Scalding Tarn.
Well, I can't cast Scalding Tarn, so I'll just pass the turn here.
All right. I'll draw. Alrighty. Well, we got a Fiery Islet of our own.
I see.
And I guess we'll just run it back.
Another Darcy?
Yeah, another Darcy. After that, I'm gonna pass the turn.
All right. I'll untap. And on my upkeep, I'm gonna do nothing and just draw my card.
Okay.
But I will play another Darcy here.
Okay.
And then pay a life.
Yep.
To play the Unholy Heat that was in my opening hand.
I see. So you get two Surveil triggers.
I'll put a Bauble in the graveyard, and yeah, I think we just want the Delirium, so I'll go ahead and throw Expressive in the yard.
Okay. Well, in response to the Unholy Heat, I'll play a Spell Pierce by paying a life. And I'll get my own Surveil trigger. Yeah, I'm okay with bending this to also get Delirium.
Alright, we both have Delirium. Well, I have to attack with the 1, so I will do so.
Yeah, I think that in this particular instance, I'm kind of okay with just trading these off.
Sure, they trade. I'll then play an untapped Watery Grave.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and just get this card out of my hand and out of your hand. I'll play a Croxa.
All right. Well, I'm going to discard an Expressive Iteration.
All right. I got nothing else. I'll pass the turn.
All right, I'll untap and draw. Oh, very interesting, very interesting. Think that I'm going to start with a Consider.
Sure thing.
I will Surveil. I will leave it where it is and draw it.
All right.
I will then play a Scalding Tarn.
Yep.
And I will go get a basic island.
Sure thing.
All right, so now I would like to pay a life and delve away 5 cards for a Murktide Regent.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
At least it's not an 8/8. There hasn't been a ton of instances.
That's true. I'm going to get rid of 3 instants and sorceries, as well as 1 creature and an artifact. Yeah. So we're keeping creature, artifact, land in the graveyard, and
you get your 3 counters.
3 counters on this thing.
Yep.
After that, I'm just going to pass to you.
All right. I'll untap and draw. Well, seeing as I have to attack with Darcy here, I might as well also attack with Ragavan, so I'll attack with both.
I mean, I'll block here.
All right, so you'll take 3.
I'll take 3. I'll go to 12.
Ragavan will die.
Ragavan is super dead.
I do have an untapped Steam Vents that I'm going to play.
Yikes.
Mainly because I have a thing that costs 4 mana from my graveyard.
Also yikes.
Which will also cost me a life, but I'll keep 2 things in the yard. I guess I'll keep a Bauble and a Expressive Iteration.
Okay.
I'll exile the rest, so then you'll have the Croxa trigger here.
Yeah, I think the Snapcaster's not doing very much anymore, so I'll pitch him.
All right, and then I'll pass the turn.
Okay. I will untap and draw. Oh, I see. Very good, very good. Not exactly winning here.
You can attack me if you want.
Yeah. I think I'm going to start by cycling this.
Sure.
Play a Misty Rainforest.
Yep.
I will pass the turn.
All right. I'll untap and draw. I'll go to combat. I do not have Delirium, so I'll just attack for 6, trigger.
Yeah, I will discard this Ragavan.
Sure.
I'd like to block.
Yep. They trade?
They eat each other.
All right.
All right, Croxa. This stupid giant is killing me, but at least I've got a 6/6. I cannot afford to keep taking beats from this thing, so I'm going to pitch my card, and I'm just going to trade the Murktide with it. Austin's graveyard has very little in it, so he doesn't have Delirium anymore. I'm not getting punched for that much anymore, so hopefully I can draw into something.
I'll then sacrifice my Islet to draw a card.
Makes good sense.
I'll play a Ledger Shredder.
I will respond by sacking this Misty Rainforest for an untapped Steam Vents.
Sure.
All right, my last card in hand happens to be a counter spell.
All right, well, Ledger Shredder will not resolve. Lastly, I'll play Scalding Tarn as my land for the turn.
Okay.
And I'll pass.
Alrighty. It's got to be something good here. That's not very good. But I'll play it anyway. I'll pass.
At the end of your turn, I'll go ahead and sacrifice my Scalding Tarn to grab a tapped Blood Crypt.
You got it.
I'll untap, draw. Doesn't really do anything here, so I'll attack for 3.
I take 3 because I can't do anything about it.
I'm so excited that I have exactly 5 cards in the yard here. It let me play Kroxa again. I already played it once from the graveyard, and it traded with a Murktide. Now, I have it again, and JC doesn't have any cards in his hand. This looks like it's going to seal the deal for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other cards than Kroxa, so we'll go ahead and replay Kroxa.
Yeah, I don't have a card to discard, so I go to 3.
I'll pass the turn.
Okay. Well, this would have been nice before Kroxa.
Yeah.
So let's go to sideboarding, then game 2.
Sounds good. For the sideboard here, I am bringing in a couple of counter spells and Spell Pierce and Mystical Dispute. Pretty good against blue decks, Mystical Dispute is, and JC does have a lot of non-creature spells in his deck, so Spell Pierce is helpful in those situations. Kind of taking out some removal for them. Fatal Push and Lightning Bolt, those are more just to be replaced by Terminates since they can hit the larger things. Lightning Bolt's kind of limited. It can only take out a Shredder without counters on it, and it doesn't really do much to Murktide, whereas Terminate is able to get rid of both of those. Also, Drawn in the Lock, a little bit less good, doesn't really do well against Murktide at all because JC is able to control his own graveyard pretty well, get rid of a lot of cards out of it, so Drawn in the Lock becomes less good. So that's kind of the reasoning for taking these cards out and bringing in the top row there.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking along a similar vein that Mystical Dispute's pretty good, and it's just better than like a Spell Pierce. And Brazen Borrower is okay, but it dies to every piece of removal in your deck, and it can reset a Ledger Shredder, but other than that, it's not really dealing with your threats, especially because they're so cheap. And I'm just shaving 1 Lightning Bolt and 1 Unholy Heat just to kind of keep, 3 of each, still pretty good. And then I'm bringing in some Moons because you have a very non-basic heavy mana base, and while you do play a fair bit of red, black is extremely important, and so is blue, and you don't have tons of basics in your deck, so these are going to feel pretty okay.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. Let's go ahead and get into game 2. All right.
I'm going to try this going first thing.
You're going to go first?
No, I'm not. Yes, I am.
You're giving me false hope.
Yeah. I'm going to go first. Yeah, I like this hand enough to keep it.
Yeah, I'll keep mine as well. All right, for game 2, I have a pretty decent hand again. 2 lands, which is right where I want to be in an opener. They're both Bloodstained Mires, so I have access to all my colors. I got 2 Ragavans, so if one of them dies off either trading with something or a removal spell, I have a second one to back it up. I've also got a Dragon's Rage Channeler again, so great here. I have a Spell Pierce, which can maybe counter some early on removal spell, as well as an Expressive Iteration to help me with card draw later in this game.
All right, this one's also a little risky, but 1 land worked out last time, kind of. So we're going to try it again. I've got Spire Bluff Canal, I've got a Monkey, I've got a Mishra's Bauble, get a couple extra looks. I've got 2 pieces of interaction in Lightning Bolt and Unholy Heat. And then for later in the game, I've got a Ledger Shredder, and I've got my Magus of the Moon. Hopefully I can shut down Austin's mana base, and then he doesn't play Magic. Alrighty, I'm going to start with this Spire Bluff Canal. And I have a Monkey.
A Monkey?
I also have a Bauble.
Yeah.
And I want to see your top card, please and thank you.
All right, I'm going to be drawing this.
Okay, that's a card. Let's go to your turn, I'll draw, and then you draw.
That card's less good when you know about it.
Mm-hmm, sure is.
It's still fine, I guess.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and start off with a Bloodstained Mire, which I will go down to 17 so that I can get an untapped Steam Vents.
Okay.
You know, I like your turn 1 play.
Oh no. Don't do it.
So I'm going to play a monkey of my own.
No, the monkeys.
I'll just pass the turn after
Okay.
that.
I will draw for the turn. That's a hilarious draw. Well, I like what your monkey's up to, but I really do think that he should go away.
Yeah, it dies.
Okay. I would like to go to combat.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I would like to hit you for 2.
I'm taking 2, and you're exiling a terminate, which I don't think you're going to cast.
Super
But
stays in exile.
you are allowed to cast it on the monkey there.
Oh yeah, I'm aware, but I think I'm just going to say go.
Oh, no land.
No
Okay.
land.
Interesting. Well, I guess that makes dispute a little bit better.
It does.
I'll play a Bloodstained Mire.
Okay.
And I think the best play for me here is to sacrifice this Bloodstained Mire to grab an untapped. You know, I think I'm just going to grab, an untapped Blood Crypt.
Okay.
Go ahead and pay a red, and I'll just heat your Ragavan now.
That makes good sense.
And then I think I'll just pass the turn here.
Okay. Well, we're gonna draw. Big yikes. I'm just going to pass it right back.
All right. I'll untap and draw. All right. Well, let's have those secrets of your hand revealed.
Well, this is going to get countered, but I got to get that counterspell out of your hand, so I'll go ahead and sack the treasure for a counterspell.
I think here I'm okay with just letting you counter my Thoughtseize.
Okay.
So, no Thoughtseize for me.
No Thoughtseize for you.
All right, so I played the Thoughtseize that I just drew, just to kind of get a peek into what JC has going on. I know he doesn't have lands. He's been stuck on 1 land this game. He's got a treasure, so he does have a little bit of mana, and I just want to know what he has. But he played a counterspell, which did use his treasure, meaning he only has 1 mana now. I'm a little bit less afraid of what he's got going on, so I don't think I want to waste one of my counterspells here. I just want to be able to play out the rest of my turn as if I still have that mana available to me. But I will play a Ragavan.
Okay, that's fair.
And then I'll pass the turn.
All right. Well, we drew a good card.
Oh,
A lightning bolt for your monkey. And then I'm just going to pass.
all right. Well, I'll play a Darcy.
That's a Darcy.
And I'll pass the turn.
Okay. I will draw. Well, I mean, I think the best thing we can do is just keep drawing removal for your threats.
I'll go ahead and throw down a Spell Piercer.
Shoot, that was the one thing. Yeah. The one thing he could have was 1 copy of Spell Pierce in his whole deck. I just needed to dodge that. He can't Mystical Dispute this. I'm in great shape, except he has the Spell Pierce. Why, Austin? Why do you always have it? Oh, I'm so dead here. I am so dead.
I don't think I want Death Shadow right now.
Fair enough. I'll pass the turn.
All right. Let's go ahead and lead off on an Expressive Iteration.
Yeah.
Surveil.
Yep.
All right, we'll go ahead and exile a Tarn,
Okay.
and then put that one in hand, put this one on bottom.
Okay.
I'll play the Scalding Tarn as my land for the turn.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and sacrifice it to grab an untapped Watery Grave.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and pay a black for Death Shadow,
Great. Thanks. I hate it.
and I'll tag for 3.
I sure am taking 3.
First damage of the game for you.
Yeah.
So, I'll pass.
All right. No. Oh man. I need a blocker. Yep. So I will pass.
All right. Oh, I'll plan on Holy Heat on the Ragavan.
He's very dead.
And then we'll go ahead and just pay 2 to dash a Ragavan.
Mm-hmm.
And attack for 4, 7, 9.
I sure am going to 8.
Which will give me a treasure and probably a land off the top of your deck.
It is in fact an Archmage's Charm. I'm actually okay with that one going away.
I'll go to pass and Ragavan will come back.
All right. Can I draw? I did in fact draw a land.
Wow. Too little, too late, probably.
It for sure is, but we can play a big stupid dragon.
Well, it's pretty good to be able to play.
Yeah. I think honestly here I'm just exiling 4 instants and just leaving an artifact and a creature so that this is...
it's not going to resolve. I was just letting it pay costs.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll trigger the surveil.
Yeah, you did have that in hand and forgot you had a mana up. I mean, unfortunately I've drawn a whole lot of 2-drops in this one 3-drop that's pretty good. So
next turn.
Yeah, I'm super dead.
All right. Well, good games.
Good games.